My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. This is the most magical podcast on earth as part of the Secret Recordings Network, back with a brand new episode. We're going to chat to Becky on this episode, who at the end of last year went to Orlando, went to visit the theme parks, didn't pay a penny. I'm talking first-class flights, I'm talking fancy hotels, I'm talking not a penny. Not even like taxis, not reward flights, theme park tickets, nothing. She paid nothing. How? Well, we'll find out very soon when we chat to her. We've got some Muppet news, we've got details of how you can get a free treat to Epcot. But first, before we get into chatting to Becky, I want to talk about Disneyland Paris, because I went over the weekend. I wanted to experience Adventure World for myself. And can I tell you, they have done an incredible job of what was the old studios. It feels like a beautiful, beautiful different park. It feels like a park. The landscaping and the lagoon that they've created is just stunning. The music they play is beautiful. I know that was recorded at Abbey Road. I think it's some like 80-minute score that they've got that plays as you walk in. So it really is an incredible improvement. Still a long way to go. We've still got the Lion King attraction that's going to be opening. We've got the Up attraction that's going to be opening over in Paris. I didn't actually get to go. The whole reason we went on a weekend, but we went on a Sunday and a Monday. And I thought, well, we'll just do one night in the hotel and get the two parks and get the early admission. Unfortunately, the Monday was much busier than I was expecting. The Monday was much busier than the Sunday. I was kind of left everything frozen to do on the Monday when I thought the parks was going to be really quiet, but it wasn't. So I didn't do Frozen Ever After. But a friend who did it said it is exactly like it is at Epcot. I didn't see the Frozen show on the lagoon either, because that's not on the big lagoon. It's on a smaller lagoon. They need to move it because it was very difficult. I didn't see Olaf. So basically, all the Frozen stuff that I went for, I didn't see. But I got to experience the new extension they've done of the parks. I got to meet Mickey in his new costume. I got to try some snacks. I had a great French onion soup in a bread bowl and a couple of nice pastries. So the food is getting a little bit better at Disneyland Paris. It's not great though still, is it? And why can't we get a good breakfast? Here's my little rant about breakfast at Disneyland Paris. Because here's a top tip actually. If you're going to Disneyland Paris, we stayed at the Santa Fe. We only stayed for one night, but we made sure we got there early so we could still use. You get the two theme park tickets, you get early admission on both those days. So rather than going to Adventure World, because we thought that's where everybody was going to head, and they did, we thought, well, let's do the early entry, the 1 hour early entry. Let's go over to Disneyland Park. And it was empty. Nobody went. So Big Thunder, Space Mountain, Peter Pan, you can probably do all those within your first hour, but everybody was over at Adventure World. But I wanted something to eat. I wanted breakfast that wasn't sweet. I wanted, I know you can get coffee and a sweet treat everywhere, but I didn't want that. I wanted something safe. I wanted a bit of egg. The only thing that they had was like a croque monsieur, which I know it's Paris. Yes, okay, a bit of cheese on toast is all right, but it was really greasy. And what's the deal with a half a cup of coffee? The coffee in Disneyland Paris is awful. When we get a coffee, can we get a Starbucks on Main Street, please? And can we get at least a full-size cup of coffee? I had a cappuccino. I was like, it was a small cup, which was half full. I thought, where's the rest of it? So, yeah, there's my little rant over for Disney. Oh, yeah, and can we make the park no smoking, please? I know that there's designated smoking areas, but people don't really bother about that. So I know I'm a non-smoker, so it's easy for me to say, but I really do think Disneyland Paris should be a smoke-free park like the other ones. But if you're going to go over to Disneyland Paris to see Adventure World, it's beautiful. They've really, really done a good job. I'm so excited. And I think with D23 happening in August, I think there's going to be more announcements. I think there's more to come in that park. And I'm thinking the Cars road trip attraction hasn't got long left. That takes up a lot of space. I'm thinking that whole area that the Cars road trip in Paris uses, I think that could be a Cars Land. I think we could bring over Cars Land from California and build it in Paris. Just an idea. if you're listening. Anyway, if you're going to Disneyland Paris or any of the Disney parks, give me a shout. We'll get you on the podcast for a chat, just like Becky, who at the end of last year went to Walt Disney World for free. How come? So, Becky, I want to know, right, well, I'm getting straight in there. How come you got to go to Orlando and it didn't cost you a penny? How come? How come?
I was probably one of the luckiest people in the world, and I scanned a QR code on a digital billboard, and 2 months later got a call to say I'd won a £27,000 holiday to Orlando.
Okay, right, let's just rewind a little bit, because people are going out, where are these QR codes? I want to find one. So where were you? Talk me through what happened.
At the time, I was living and working in central London, and I literally walked from my work to Oxford Street, and I was coming past Tottenham Court Road, and I was sort of the other side of the road, and I saw like there's a place called Here at Ep8, which is really cool, and there was a big billboard that had like the Epic Universe logo, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, I wonder what that is, so stayed to watch it again, and I think at the time it just said like scan this QR code and you could win a holiday of a lifetime to Universal Studios. And I'm not joking, I scanned the QR code and I remember walking back to my work and it was like enter your name and like all the basic stuff, and I did it and I never thought anything of it, because it's like one of those things like why would you think that anything would happen. And then I think it was about 2.5 months later, I was at work and I had like 6 missed calls on my phone. And I was like, this is really weird. And it was like continuously ringing me. So I called this guy back and he was like, oh, do you remember entering this competition with Here at Ep8 and Universal? And I was like, no. And then,
you forgot that you'd entered.
I'd completely forgotten, because it was like 3 months prior. It was just, I happened to see it in passing, scan the QR code, put my details in, back of my mind, 3 months later, congratulations, you've won a holiday.
I often wonder what those calls are like, because I mean, if it was me, I'd probably think it was a scam, especially if I saw the number. I go, well, I'm not answering that.
Well, the thing that got me was it was a mobile number that was ringing me. So at first I thought like, oh, I'd better answer that then, and the fact that it was sort of like 6 calls, I thought, God, that's quite like urgent, maybe something's wrong. And he was the guy on the phone was just so casual about it, and I was like, because it was in the middle of a heat wave, and I was really hot and overstimulated, like a lot of people in central London were at the time. And then he just continued to tell me how like I'd won this holiday, and then I distinctly remember him saying at that point, he was like, can I just go through some details with you? And I was like, right, of course. At this point I was like crying, because I was like, what's happening? What's going on? And he said, oh, so, just to let you know that it's with British Airways, it's in partnership with Epic Universe, so you can take you and 3 other people. And I went, I'm sorry, 3 other people? He was like, oh, yeah, you can take 3 other people with you.
So 3 adult, not like an adult and 2 kids, not like a family, it's like 4 people. 4 of you in total, whoever wants to go. It was wild. And then he said to me, I'll send you some... He was like, are you happy to accept it? And I was like, well, yes. I'm not going to say no. Not stupid.
Yeah, and he said, okay, I'll send you some details soon. I remember I then walked back into my work and I was like, guys, something really weird's happened. Like, I've just won a £27,000 holiday.
£27,000?
Yeah, £27,000 was what it was worth. And I didn't believe it until I got the paperwork. I said to myself, I'm not going to believe that it is true until I see it in writing. And then I got sent an email from the company that were doing it, and then from Universal being like, congratulations. And it had like all of the details, and it was saying like where we were staying. And then I scrolled down and it was like to the total amount of £27,000. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. And was it a certain date that you had to go, or did they say when are you free, or how did that work?
No, so it was, I got asked if I was free on a select number of dates, which was like some point it was like the end of October. And I thought, oh, they must just be like sticking us on a flight, or maybe because it's low season and like it's going to be a bit quieter or something like that. So yeah, there's more to that, which I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, there was just a select date, and it just happened to be that I was free and I had the time to go, and I would have moved heaven on earth to make sure that I could go, because why wouldn't you?
Now the question is, like, you can take 3 people. How did you decide who was going to go? Who went with you? And what was their reaction?
I mean, it was really tough because immediately I have 2 brothers, and my eldest brother has a niece who's 16, and they've never really been on a holiday before. At first I thought, I'll take them, but then my niece had just started college, so that wasn't an option. And then, to sound harsh, but then also it was sharing one room, and I thought, do I really want to share a room with my brother for a week? Probably not. Foreign country.
Four adults in one room, so you can take 4 adults, but you're all in the one room.
You're all in the one room.
Right.
You could pay extra for another room, but you know,
you got a free holiday. Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. So I text my best friend who I used to work with, and I said to her, I'd left work and I said, something absolutely insane has just happened and I don't feel like I can tell you what it is until I get home. And then, of course, I said that and she was like, no, like, you've got to tell me now. And I was like, well, I'm on the train. I've got no signal. And she was calling me on the train home. It took me like 40 minutes to get home and it kept breaking out. And then I got off the train and I was like, right, I'm going to cut to the chase. I've just won a holiday to America. She was like, what? And then obviously told her all the stuff that I told you. And I said, look, I know you've got a husband and a small child, but any chance you'd want to come with me? And she went, yes. They
can look after each other.
Yeah, literally. Her husband gave me an evil look for like a good 3 weeks afterwards as well. Like he was looking at me like, I can't believe you've taken her on this and I'm not going. It was that kind of thing. But no, he was obviously very supportive and let her go. And then I did honestly, I took some real time to think about who I wanted to go, because it was kind of like, who do I want to share the experience with? Who's really going to appreciate it? But who are the people that are going to gel together really well? That's going to make it really enjoyable. So I took another old work colleague who I only see 2 times a year, and she came along. And then I took somebody that I've been working with for 10 years, who I only see 2 times a year. So it was kind of like, it was giving us a chance to catch up, but also have the best week of our lives.
Yeah, the greatest. But
the second person that I asked, which was my friend who'd been working with for a really long time, I told her a secret about it that the other 2 didn't know until the day we flew. It was that when I came back to my parents' house for a weekend, and I said to my mum, I wonder if I can find the original link for the competition that I entered, because I didn't have full details of anything.
Yeah. And
I found the link and I started, and it was you could win a 5-night stay and Epic Universe and the 3-pass Universal, and then it sort of said return flights of British Airways Club World, and I was like, what is Club World? I said to my mum, I was like, what is Club World? This was 11 o'clock at night. I'd done a full shift at work. I'd driven back from London, and I googled British Airways Club World, and it pulled up business class with British Airways, and I sort of went, I said to Mum, I was like, Mum, it's business class return flights. It's business class return flights.
Yeah.
I was like, whenever I've gotten a long haul plane, they make you walk through that part to get to your seat.
Yeah, I want to turn left.
Yeah. And I actually got on the plane and I turned left.
Wow. And did you get to use the lounge where they serve Whispering Angel?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the way that it worked was I said to my friend, I'm going to tell you this because if I don't tell you, I'm going to explode. But we're not going to tell the other 2.
Right.
My one friend had never flown further than Germany, so an hour.
An hour or 2, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other friend had gone to Cyprus or whatever, close flights, nothing compared to a long haul. And I thought the fact that they get to go on a long haul and their first ever experience of it is business class is insane.
Yeah.
So we got to the airport, and I'm sure we'll get more into this because the airport experience itself was insane, but I basically said to them, before we check in, can I take your photo? So I got the 3 of them together, and I sort of I say cheese, and they were like, cheese, and I said, everyone say we're actually flying business class instead of economy, and they were like, what? And in the video, my one friend screamed so loud that you see everybody turn around, going, oh my God, what's going on? Is she okay? Yeah, it was nuts.
So what did you actually get in the trip? So you've got business class return flights to Orlando with British Air. What else was in the price? You said it was £27,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, so the reason that it added up to that much was because obviously the business class flights themselves are really, 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 really expensive. Yeah. So that was a chunk of it alone. we were also staying at Terra Luna Resort. So we were at a brand new resort as well, and everything was shiny and lovely. And then we had all of our park tickets included. So it was literally just like, take spending money and everything else is covered. So feed yourself and water yourself.
Yeah.
But your airport transfers were included, and obviously you were on site, so you had like great bus links to the Universal parks, and yeah, it was wild. But I mean, before we even got there, it started to get a bit weird quite quickly, but not weird in a bad way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So obviously we check into these flights, and then they were sort of saying to us, right, you're in the main terminal now, but then you need to get the train out to the other terminal that will take you to your flight. So you can go and use the lounge, which is when I said to the girls, oh yeah, I forgot to mention we've got lounge access, so we can just walk it. Yeah. So I remember walking into this British Airways lounge, and I don't know if you've ever been in it yourself, but it's absolutely huge, and they have basically an open bar, and they have like all of these rows of just Prosecco, and it's kind of like a help yourself thing. And it was like 7 a.m, and I was so tired. I was like, I don't understand what's happening, but we're just going to go with it, because I was so worried that even up to the point that we got to the airport that it was going to be a joke. I genuinely thought somebody was having me on. But then when we got to the airport, I understood very quickly, because they said in the email, they were like, oh, you'll know where to check in. And I was like, right, okay, what does that mean? That's very, like, elusive. What does that mean? They had a massive brass band there playing, like, Universal music. They'd shut off, like, a whole part of the terminal.
Oh, wow. So how many winners were there then? Was it?
Well, the whole flight was a private chartered flight with just competition winners.
Well,
so
how come you ended up in the business end? Because they could have shoved you around the back.
So there were different competitions. So basically, Heart Radio, this is what I didn't know. So Heart Radio at the time had been running a competition where you could win a holiday, and it was essentially the same thing, but the flights were just economy. Yeah. There was a woman that I met who was sitting behind me. She'd won it with Britain's Got Talent. There was just like loads of different people.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
But it then meant that when you got on the flight, everybody was like, oh my God, because everybody had won. So the atmosphere was so great.
Yeah.
So we go to this lounge, and then we sort of had some breakfast and some drinks, and we were like, right, we'll get the train, go over to the main terminal where we need to fly from. And we got there, and I was like, guys, we've still got an hour. Let's like go milk the other lounge, because I'm never going to be able to do this again. So let's just go in the lounge. And we get in the queue, and I look in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I recognise that guy. And then he turned, and it was Jake, who'd won the Traitors from Series 2. And I was like, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's, it's half term. Maybe he's just going away. Cool, fine. But then in front of him was a really tall man, like really tall. And I remember saying to my friend Alicia, I was like, God, look at him, he's tall. And she went, oh my God, that's Peter Crouch. And I was like, what? And then it was Peter Crouch and Abby Clancy and their kids.
And I was
like, okay, yeah. And I was like, oh, this is coincidence, half term, isn't it? Everyone's going on holiday. So we go into the lounge, and I'm like just sitting down, and then I go, oh, I'm just going to go get a coffee. So then my friend Kate came with me to get a coffee. And as we walked, I walked past somebody, I went, oh, sorry. And then it was Holly Willoughby. And I was like, what's going on? Why is Holly Willoughby here? Like, I felt like it was in some sort of weird fever dream. And
like
she went and sat...
experience.
Literally, then she went and sat down next to Denise Van Outen. And I was like, why is Denise Van Outen here? What's going on?
Are you all on the same flight?
Yeah, well, then I went to get a coffee, and I was, no joke of a lie, I was pouring myself a coffee, and I heard somebody go, oh, excuse me. I turned around, and it was Ollie Murs, and I was like, what are you doing here? What's going on? And he was there with Mark Wright doing work with Heart Radio, so they were there for the whole week, so all of them were on our flight. So it was wild, and we hadn't even got on the plane at this point. It was utterly insane. It was crazy.
You really had won. You were a real winner, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. It was very... I did sort of think, I was like, what's going on? I was like, am I dreaming this? Because it's just too weird for all of these people to be in this place. Like, to just see Peter Crouch, I was like, oh, maybe he's just taking his kids away. But then when everybody else turned up, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's something going on here. Like, this is a bit crazy. Yeah.
And this is only in the airport and the flight. We've not even landed in Orlando yet. And we've not even mentioned Disney.
No.
But as this was a trip with Universal to Universal, will we get to Disney? We'll find out in a minute. That Back with Becky in just a moment. So much more to tell us about on this incredible trip of a lifetime. Let's get you the news from Walt Disney World first of all. Been so excited to tell you about this. We know the Muppets are taking over Rock N Rollercoaster, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. As I begged for years ago, I said they should do this attraction. Well, they will be from the 26th of May, and we've found out now which songs we can hear on the ride. It's going to be a bit like Guardians, where you don't know what you're going to get. But the songs are, Song 2 from Blur is one of the songs the Electric Mayhem will be playing. Walking on Sunshine, the Katrina and the Waves song, featuring Kelly Clarkson. Born to be Wild, featuring Camilla the Chicken. Love Roller Coaster, Jennifer Hudson's on that one. Def Leppard will feature on Rock, Rock Till You Drop. And then throughout the attraction, there'll be some other cameos as well, the likes of Neil Patrick Harris and Weird Al, Travis Barker on there as well. May the 26th will be the official opening date for Muppets Rock N Rollercoaster, as well as many other things at Walt Disney World. May the 26th is Epcot. You can do the new Soaring Across America. I think Bluey arrives at Animal Kingdom that day as well. So lots happening. There'll be previews if you're an annual pass holder or a DVC member a couple of weeks before. We also found out some more details about May the 4th. Yes, May the 4th will be happening in, about a week's time. So if you're going to be at Walt Disney World May the 4th, there'll be new snacks for Star Wars Day, including pink milk. There'll be pink milk, and there'll also be pink milk cooler, which is pink milk with rum in it. Ogre's Cantina has got a couple of new bites coming in as well. Ronto Roasters have got a new menu. There's also going to be a new cupcake at Batlock Express. That's where you can get the Wookiee cookie. But your chosen path cupcake will be on there. There'll be a lightsaber churro as well. Plus loads of other items that you can buy, like popcorn buckets and things like that. I have been at Hollywood Studios on May the 4th, and the actual attractions themselves, I went to do Rise of Resistance. It was a walk-on. I was thinking, this is bizarre. This is Star Wars Day. There's nobody here. Everybody was queuing for the merch. That's why. So if you're going to be at Hollywood Studios on the 4th, go in the morning to do the attractions, unless you want to get the merch, because pretty much it'll be quiet. We've got more details about Lakeshore Lodge, which is going to be opening next year. Another new DVC resort coming to the Magic Kingdom area just across the bay there, just by Wilderness Lodge, Lakeshore Lodge. There'll be more restaurants going to there as well. And get ready. Ready, set, glow, because new characters and dates are making a splash at Disney's H2O Glow After Hours. You know, they've got the after hours at the parks. They also do after hours at the water parks as well. So over summer, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon. It's an extra ticket, but they seem to have added more characters there if you want to party with the characters and have some fun at a water park at night when it's still going to be really warm and humid, but you can cool that. That's a great idea, isn't it? Being in Florida in summer at night when it's still warm, but you can go to a water park. Brilliant. More details of all that on our socials, and anything happens between now and the next podcast in a few weeks. At Pod Magical is where we are. Becky's with us on the podcast. She won a trip to Orlando with Universal. Not just any old trip, like business class on that. So what was it like? What was Universal like then?
Oh my God, it was incredible. We landed and we were very lucky. We flew into the new terminal, which I hadn't been to before, and it's lovely. I was very impressed. And had like a sort of record-breaking 20 minutes in getting through security, which was wonderful. I really loved that. Nice. And I sort of said to my friends, right, I know we're all knackered and everyone wants to go to bed, but we're not going to do that. We're going straight to the park. And I literally got them on a bus straight out to the park. Yeah.
Well, if your ticket was included, you'd be silly not to.
I'm going to milk every day and every hour and every second that I can because I love those parks. I love all of the parks, but yeah, admittedly, you know, I do. Universal was the first park I ever went to, so I think it kind of holds that little bit more of a special place for me. But like for me, I've been there, a handful of times, very lucky. And even when I walk through City Walk, even I'm like, oh, this is a bit overwhelming, especially at night when like everything's really bright and Horror Nights was on, so like loads of people were around. And my friends were like proper like rabbit in the headlights, like so jet lagged, and they were like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? I was like, look, we've only got time to do one ride, so we're going to go on Spider-Man because it's right there and it's a classic. And I shoved them on Spider-Man, and they were literally like, that's the coolest thing I've ever been on.
It is a cool ride,
like,
still.
It is a cool ride, but I was like, guys, that ride's really old. I was like, you're tip of the iceberg here. You're not
you've not seen anything yet.
Seen anything. So the next day was like a full recharge. I took them straight over to Universal. I thought we could do Islands of Adventure later. So I took them over into the Universal side. And my friend Katie, God bless her, had never really been on many roller coasters before. And I shoved her on the Mummy.
Okay.
We did go on Hulk the same day, but I shoved her on the Mummy. I thought, I'll ease her in with the Mummy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fine. It goes pretty fast, but it's okay. And I don't think I heard for about half an hour after that from her, like, screaming down my ear. Yeah. And it was things like taking them to Diagon Alley, like seeing people... For me, like, one of the best things is taking people to Diagon Alley that have never been to Diagon Alley. Because when you see them walk in...
to be honest. Yeah, Disney Universal, taking somebody for their first time.
Like, my equivalent to that is when you take people to Magic Kingdom for the first time, and when you turn that corner and you see the castle.
Yeah.
Like nothing beats it, does it? But
no.
So we did all of the we did all of Universal. We had experience, I'll say, with Hagrid's, where we'd been told that the queue was quite intense, and you know it's like a minimum wait time. And we were in that queue, I think, for about 3 hours, and it broke down, and we got kicked off it.
Oh no.
And then it rained, and then we went on the Hulk in the rain, so again, that was quite intense. Then we had probably the worst thunderstorm I've ever seen. I thought, right guys, let's just call it a day, let's go home. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But when we did get on Hagrid's, I understand now why people say it's one of the best rides, because the last time I went, it was being built, it had hoardings all around it, you couldn't see it. So for me to experience that with them, like, I wanted to experience as much new things as I could, as well as saying to them, oh, this is what I love and this is what's great and you guys are going to love this. So that changed when we went to Epic Universe, because I'd never been before.
You've never been before, yeah. Well, not many people have. It's literally only just opened.
No. Yeah, I had this thing with my old housemate where we used to watch I think it was called like Theme Park Stop, used to do like every 2 weeks sort of update, like building update.
Yeah.
And we literally religiously watched that park being built from the ground up. So walking into there, and when you get to the Cronus, like, it's just so wild, and you walk in, it's like this beautiful garden, and it just looks so pretty. And then it was just that point for me where I didn't speak, and they were like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I can't get words out. I've never experienced like a fresh new park. Like, everything was so like clean and new, and because we were staying on resort, we got early access as well. So they only open like 2 of the lands, so they tend to do like Celestial and then like one additional one. So for us, it was Celestial and Super Nintendo World. So we went and did that. Very overstimulated by that, not going to lie. There's a lot going on.
Yes, Super Nintendo World, it is very noisy and colourful. There is so much to see and hear and smell. It is full on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot day or night. I don't think, because I did it both in the day and the night, and like both times I was like, oh my god, this is intense. This is a lot.
Yeah, there's nowhere to escape.
Yeah, I mean, for people that haven't been, it's incredible, the Super Nintendo World, but just be prepared to queue for a very long time. For most things, I think we were very lucky, because we went in a point where queue times weren't that bad, apart from, was it Minecart Madness? We queued for 4 hours for like a 2-minute ride, which is wild. But everything else we literally near enough walked on. Like, it was a breeze. I mean, we went from there. We went to Isle of Berk, and I'm not joking you. I walked in there, I cried, and I'm not a crier at theme parks, but there was just something about how they built that whole island, and the animatronics are just incredible. And you've got the music and the mac and cheese cones. Have you ever had one? Have you experienced one?
No, I haven't. But do I need to go back and have one now?
Andy, if there's one thing you do, the next time you go to Isle of Berk, have a mac and cheese cone.
Right.
Text me and thank me later when you've had it.
Okay, right.
I want you to imagine a cone of garlic bread.
Yeah.
Crammed with macaroni cheese.
Okay,
and then I think I had like pulled pork in mine and peanut butter and jam, which sounds a bit weird, but it was one of like the best things I've ever eaten.
Carb on carb in carb.
But would not recommend eating that and then immediately going on Hiccup Swing gliders. Like, give yourself a buffer. Go watch The Untrainable Dragon, because that's insane. That is absolutely incredible.
Both of those shows at Epic are epic.
Epic. It lives up to its name, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
you understand why they call it epic, because the detail in each of the lands is just outrageous. Like, I religiously watch Adam Hatton's videos. I think he's great, and he goes in depth on things. And I didn't notice he'd said like something about like the manhole covers, like in Berk, how they've like created all of the like dragons and stuff in there, so they made sure that they got every possible creature in.
Yeah,
like it's so wild. It's like when you go into Harry Potter, they've got like the world's smallest animatronic, like that little one that picks the locks in the window, and it's like that big. It's there just picking a lock. Like it blew my mind. It really did.
Would you say is the best attraction at Epic?
Hands down, it is Hiccup Swing Gliders.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people say Monsters Unchained, but Hiccup Swing Gliders surprised me because I thought, it's going to be a kid's ride. I thought it was going to be like really, really tame, like the equivalent of like Mine Train at Alton Towers, but with an Orlando budget. And then I got on it and I was like, it's not that at all. Like when you've got Hiccup like talking you through it, and you've got like, they've built in music in rides so much more now, which I love because it makes it 1,000 times more immersive. And I think it was, for me, it was when you get to the point where you see the Hiccup and the Toothless animatronic. And I remember looking at them and then next minute just being like shot off, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect to launch in this coaster. Like,
it's
wild.
Good not knowing what's going to happen as well. I know there's always that curiosity about, and I want to know what I'm getting into when I ride, and I can't wait for the next ride. It's like, the Muppets Rock N Rollercoaster in a few weeks. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like, but also I kind of want to wait to see it with my own eyes. But
yeah, I tried, because my algorithm, probably similar to yours, is a lot of Disney, Universal. Yeah. And points of view and stuff, and I literally muted it the whole time because I was like, I don't want it. I don't want to know. I want to just go in blind. It was stuff like when we went into Harry Potter and we did Battle of the Ministry. Like, I knew nothing about that. I knew nothing about the scale of how big it actually was, or how they did the Flea Powder Network, or anything like that. Like, I knew nothing about either of the shows. Like, I really tried to sort of shield myself from it. Apart from Stardust Races, I think I saw a couple of things on that, and I went on that ride, and I think my soul left my body on multiple occasions. Like, I sat down when I got off it because it was just so.
Get your legs back.
Yeah, it's just so intense, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I think you can do Epic in a day if you're lucky. We were very lucky that we walked on everything.
Yeah.
But even without the rides, it's so interactive on every level. Like, there's characters in every single land. Like, you go into Dartmoor and there's like loads of stuff going on there. It's like when the lightning goes off and it strikes the whole mansion. Like, it's just so, the detail in that park is off the charts. It's
Would you say
unreal.
With that park they've given Disney a real run for their money?
Oh, for sure. I think so, for sure. But equally, Disney have got so much in the pipeline, haven't they? Like,
well, yeah.
Muppets
Rock N Rollercoaster.
Yeah, with Song 2 from Blur, which I think is going to be one of the
played by the Electric
best.
Mayhem.
Yeah, can you imagine? I will ride that ride until I get that song. And I think at the moment, for sure, because you walk into some Disney parks, and I'm aware that a lot of them are having a lot of work at the moment. They're doing a lot of regeneration work and building new lands, and stuff's under construction, so it looks a bit chaotic. Whether, the rides that they've built at Epic, like the animatronics are unreal, and just the level of detail again is just nuts. But it's also just a beautiful park.
Yeah. Like
when you get like the fountain show around the carousel, and you can just sit there and watch that, and it's peaceful and it's nice, and you feel like you're in a park rather than a theme park. And
it's like you say, walking into a new
park
park for a first time as well. You're walking into an entire new park where the entire park is something, the attractions, the landscaping. It's like I mentioned earlier on about Disneyland Paris, how beautiful that is, but that's only like a quarter of their studios park. It's just, it's nice being somewhere new. Yeah.
That's for me was taking 3 people that had never been before. For me to take them to Epic was so nice because I'd never been, so it was so nice that we could all experience something together that none of us had done.
Yeah.
So none of us knew what was coming or what we were in for when we were getting on certain rides. It was wild. It was an incredible day.
So how many days in total were you there for? 5 nights? So you got a full week. Now,
we got a full week.
Yeah. Now, you were guests of Universal and you stayed at Universal. You were driven to Universal. You got the Universal ticket. You get Universal tickets for every single day. You could come in and out as much as you want.
Yep.
However, you were in Orlando, and this is a Disney podcast. Becky, don't tell me you didn't go and see Mickey Mouse during your time, during your free trip to Orlando.
Of course I went and saw Mickey Mouse.
Of course you did.
Imagine if I came on this podcast for the second time, thanks for having me back, and then said, by the way, Andy, I just didn't fancy going to Magic Kingdom. No,
thank you, goodbye.
There's no point.
So your friends had never been to Orlando, so they'd never been to Walt Disney World. So because you're only there for 7 nights, obviously you want to make the most out of Universal, because you're not paying to be in the Universal Park, so why would you want to pay more to go to Disney? So what was your thought process about getting a bit of Disney in that trip?
My thought process was, I cannot fly 3 people that have never been to Orlando before out to Orlando and not take them to at least one park, because I'm aware that people are still it's still, it's expensive to go, it's not cheap. But if I'd flown there and not gone to Magic Kingdom, I don't think I could have forgiven myself. It was kind of like a must for me, but also we were there for Halloween, and I thought, I've never done Mickey's Not So Scary before, because I'm a wimp. Yeah. I won't do Horror Nights. I've tried it before. Well, I've had a sample of Horror Nights. It wasn't for me. Yeah, I fell on the floor. It was a whole thing. So I opted and said, would you guys like to do Mickey's Not So Scary? And of course they were like, yes, absolutely. So we booked that, and I think we did the day after Halloween as well, so it was a really cool atmosphere still. And it was quite nice, because obviously it doesn't open until 3 for guests, isn't it, I think? And we were so tired.
2? It's around then, yeah.
3, 4, 2, one of the two. But we'd been hammering everything. We'd been park after park after park, continuous back to back to back rides, just not stopping. So I thought, at least we can actually try and enjoy our resort a little bit and see what it's like.
Yeah.
And just sort of let our legs recover. Because once we went to Magic Kingdom, I don't think we sat down at all at a single point. I was like, if we're going to do it, guys,
you've got to do it.
This is the way that we're going to do it. And I remember saying, I've not been on Tron yet, so I don't care what else we do, but we're getting on Tron.
Get on Tron.
Yeah.
You got on Tron?
I got on Tron twice.
Oh, well, yeah, because of course the crowds are a bit quieter for the Halloween party.
Yeah, there was nobody around. I think we queued for about 20 minutes for the first time. It was great. And I was prepared. I was thinking, oh God, it's going to be out the door, because you know how far back it goes. It's nearly touching sort of where Space Mountain is. Yeah. And I'd seen the queue lines, and I thought, oh God, please, I can't handle another 4-hour queue like what I'd had at Epic. No, we were really lucky. We got on it in 15 minutes, and we did it in a day. And I was like, that was my second best ride of the whole holiday, was Hiccups and Tron.
Yeah,
they were so. Oh, and Hagrid's as well. Top 3. There you go. Tron just blew my mind, and I loved it so much. I was like, I want to do it in the dark. I want to do that outside bit in the dark.
Yeah.
It's just so. I mean, I remember I'd text you about it and said, "What do I do with Tron?" And I think you'd suggested trying to get a lightning lane, and it, because of it being Not So Scary, I couldn't do it. And I was like, so I'll just queue. I'll just queue for it. So yeah, we went straight to Tron because I was getting on that ride.
What time did you get to the park? Did you get literally as soon as you could get in?
Yeah,
early
I was
afternoon.
we're going to make the most time out of it. So we went to Disney Springs before, just to have a bit of a I was like, this is the nice calm part of Disney before I take you to Magic Kingdom. But they definitely had that thing of they all walked in and obviously because it was all decorated, and then they saw the castle, and I think they just couldn't fathom what they were seeing. And for me, that was another thing of being like, oh, it's just so nice to see people experience it, because obviously when you experience it for the first time, it never gets old. But
no. Yeah. Did you make it to the end of the party? Because it's midnight, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
You've got your money's worth.
We stayed until it was literally announcements being put out that you needed to leave.
Please leave now. It's 6 a.m.
It's 6 a.m. and the cast members want to go home. No, I think we stayed until about sort of 1 o'clock in the morning, and then had to get a boat and an Uber back to our hotel. But it was so worth it for everything that we packed in. And the parade as well. I'd never seen the parade. Like I said, never done Not So Scary before. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like a kid. When they gave me that trick-or-treat bag, I was gone.
Did you blitz it as well? Did you really stock up?
Oh, yeah. I was like cramming my bag down to see if I could get more in my bag. And then I put some from my bag in my backpack.
Yeah, and then start again. Yeah.
Gaston's is the best place. And I think you told me about Gaston's, and I went there, and there was a little kid in front of me. It was so incredible. There's a little girl with her parents, and this cast member just picked up the whole box and just tipped it in her bag. And
end of the night, they just do. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, and her little face, she looked so happy, and I was like, that's incredible. It's simple stuff like that, isn't it? Like for kids and adults as well. It just makes it for you. Like cast members don't get enough credit, I think, sometimes for the effort that they put in, especially for things like Not So Scary when it's so busy.
Yeah, quite intense. But that's probably the best thing to do as well. If you could only get one day in a Disney theme park, because it's probably more to buy a one-day ticket. So going to Not So Scary, what was it, about $100 and something? I
think it's about £130 pounds. Yeah, and I mean, depending on when you pick your day, like again, we were really lucky, and we barely queued for anything apart from what did we queue a bit longer for? Tron, we did queue a bit the second time, but nothing terrible. I think everything else we pretty much walked on. Space Mountain we queued for a little while for, and then my friend, bless her, said that she felt like she needed a chiropractor when she got off it.
Yes, yeah, because it's a bit
forget,
intense.
Don't you, how much that ride...
It's old, it's 50 years old, that ride, yeah. But doing it in the dark as well.
Feels it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you told me that it was pitch black dark, but I forgot that it was pitch black dark.
Yeah.
So I got on it, and I was like, why can I not see what's going on?
Did it make your friends want to go back to Disney World? Because obviously you probably hit everything in Universal, all three parts. You really went for it there. So having that taster of Magic Kingdom where they're like, we want to come back. Especially a friend who's got a little kid and a husband.
Yeah, so she's already planning to go back next year. She's she's asking me, where can I stay, and what, like this and this and this, and I'm like, she's like, what tickets do I need to buy? And I'm just like, just buy the All Park Explorers for both of them. Go to Disney, have the best time, go do Pandora. It's incredible. Like, for her to take, so her little boy will be, I think he'll be 6 this year. Yeah. So I feel like by the time he hits 7 next year, it's going to be great for him. But all of them were like, we need to immediately come back. And even we've said we'd love to go back in like 3 years, like the 4 of us, and do a full 2 weeks and really have at it and do everything. Yeah, because there'll be so much new in a few years as well. Exactly. That I'm really excited for as well, because I think there was a couple of things that were closed when we went, just for the fact that their Big Thunder Mountain was closed, which I was sad about because I love that ride. Opens next week. Yeah. But Tiana's was open, and I hadn't done that since that had been refurbed, and I love that. So much fun. But yeah, they are. I think we talk about this holiday probably about 3 times a week. If not more. Easily. Like there's points of it that we just go, oh my god, can you believe we did that? And remember when this happened? And that was like my friend Katie. I remember her eating like a Starburst in a queue, and it was like so sour that she like literal tears like rolling down her face. And it's just stuff like that you remember. Like they really kindly bought me a really cool Spirit jersey from Universal. And I nearly cried at that because I was like, you didn't have to, that's so lovely. But, it's kind of like, I took them because I strongly believe that they would be the 3 best people to go with. And I don't regret it for a second. Yeah, totally. Because we just laughed the whole week. It was so fun. But I would love for them to go back and experience what the other Disney parks have to offer. Because obviously they're so huge and there's so much to see. And you physically can't do that in a week to the point of enjoying it. You can't do it in a day. Oh my god, no, I've done it and I never want to do it again. Actually, what would you do? As you have had one day at Disney when you went to the Halloween party, if you had the perfect day at Disney World, how would you spend it? Am I picking one park? You've got a day. You've got a park hopper, you've got lightning lanes, stay where you want, do what you want within reason. Within reason. Okay, so I think resort-wise, I've stayed there before and I'd do it again. I stayed at the Swan and Dolphin and I really, really loved it because I thought it was so convenient to get, like, obviously you could walk to Epcot, you could get the boat to Hollywood Studios. So I think for convenience-wise...
Yeah, I could walk to Hollywood Studios as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I could get a lot done. So I'd stay there for sure. First, I would head out to Epcot solely to do Guardians of the Galaxy because I've not done it yet because I've not had the chance to go back. So I'd do Guardians, then I'd just quickly nip to Paris so that I could get that. Have you had that brioche ice cream bun from that bakery in Paris?
No, I was there the weekend though.
Oh my gosh, so there's a little bakery in Paris, in Epcot. I don't know if they do it in the Disney...
I thought you meant actual Disneyland Paris. I thought, that's a bit extreme. You're not going over to Paris. Oh, right.
No.
Yes, I have had that. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, the ice cream brioche bun. I'd get that, and I'd have that, and then I'd leave, because that's fine. I can live without doing anything else. Then I'd go over to Hollywood Studios, and I'd very quickly hammer out Muppets Coaster, if we're saying that that's open.
Wait, yeah, you're going to wait for that to open, yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Song 2, Blair.
Yeah, Song 2 Blur. Don't want anything else. Even though I'm sure the other choices will be great, I want Song 2 by Blur because it will be incredible. Then I'd go out to Star Wars, little blast around there. I'd do Midway Mania, then I'd leave. Then I'd... See, I'm saying I was like perfect day, and now I am going to all. I'm near enough touching all the parks, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'd go to Animal Kingdom, and I would literally do Flight of Passage, Expedition Everest, leave, finish at Magic Kingdom, Tron, Big Thunder Mountain, fireworks parade, home,
done.
Sleep.
And if you could have that as another prize with business class flights, everything paid for, then that would be a win.
Yeah, it would be a win. Like, especially, so the other thing that I didn't mention that was really cool that British Airways did was when, with this flight being chartered, they personalised it to Universal, which was really cool. So the whole menu was based around Epic Universe.
Oh,
it was
wow.
so cool. So they gave us a little burger that was like a toothless burger.
Brilliant.
They did like a chocolate pudding that had like a little toad in it. Yeah, it was insane. And if you ever do get to fly business class, they've got a kitchen where you can just go and help yourself. It's great.
Get with the galley, cook yourself.
They get you really drunk until you tell them to stop giving you drinks.
Please stop.
Stop.
Please stop. You've had enough where they're telling them to stop. It does sound like an incredible... That really is, when they say you can win a holiday of a lifetime.
It was.
It really, really was. Well, I'm glad you had a great time. Thanks for chatting again. And,
thanks for having me back.
Have a magical day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much.
Free dining offers are now on. They started this week. If you want to go to Walt Disney World next year, take advantage of some dining, then look around. Do the maths first before you decide whether it is a good deal. There's no such thing as free dinner, as they once did say, but have a look. Free dining is now on. Next couple of weeks over at Walt Disney World, well, May the 3rd will be the opening of Big Thunder Mountain, which has been closed now for over a year. I watched the Imagineering YouTube channel. Whether you watched that? You should watch that. It's really good. They were showing like all the details. Even like the path going up to the attraction has been redone. It looks like a complete reworking. So May the 3rd, that officially opens. Whether there's going to be previews before that, I'm not quite sure. Of course, the day after that, May the 4th, will be Star Wars Day, so expect Hollywood Studios to be quite busy that day. Meanwhile, Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot is still on. I've got a tip in a moment of how you can get a free snack there, free-ish. As part of the food and wine that they've got the topiaries, of course, and they've got the Garden Rocks with some legends performing over the next few weeks. You've got Air Supply, I'm All Out of Love, 26th and 27th of April. It's Flock of Seagulls. Of course, one of their songs is on Guardians. 1st and 2nd of May, Flock of Seagulls will be at Epcot. Plain White Tees on the 3rd and 4th of May. And then Katrina and the Waves on the 8th and 9th. Katrina, as we mentioned mention Walking on Sunshine is one of the songs that's going to be on Muppets Rock N Rollercoaster. So maybe there'll be a reference to that when Katrina is Epcot on the 8th and 9th. Meanwhile, SeaWorld, they've got their Seven Seas Music Festival at SeaWorld, and they've got some live performances as well. Jesse McCarthy this weekend. He's on this coming Saturday, and it's Boys to Men on Sunday at SeaWorld. Bank holiday weekend coming up here in the UK at the beginning of May. It's no bank holiday in America, by the way. If you're expecting it to be busy the first weekend in May, probably not. Just a normal, usual busy weekend for Disney World. The end of May is a bank holiday in America, though, and that's when a lot of the summer stuff starts. Pound to dollar at the minute, you look at about 1.35. Lightning lanes, I was having a look at lightning lanes the other day. Your average price, I just had a look for this coming Saturday. So your average Magic Kingdom lightning lane, that's the multi one where you get the 3. You can pre-select the 3. That's coming in about $37. That is just for this Saturday, though. I think it's a couple of dollars cheaper midweek. Seven Dwarves is coming up at 14. That's just for that one attraction. Tron is 22. They seem to be average prices throughout the week, actually. Meanwhile, Epcot, the multi-pass is $28. Guardians is coming in at $20. Hollywood Studios, $32. Rise is $24 over at Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom, $25 for the multi-pass, and then it's $19 for Flight Pass. Of course, if you've got the multi-pass, once you've used your first one, by the way, you can select another one at any of the parks. So there you go. They're the prices. As I say, midweek maybe a couple of dollars cheaper. Weather is looking quite nice over the next week or so, actually. Low 30s during the day. At night, even at its coolest, is about 19, 20 degrees. Mostly dry, plenty of sunshine, maybe 1 or 2 spots of rain, but pretty good over the next couple of weeks. And to end the podcast with a top tip, I said there's a free treat at Epcot. Well, there's kind of a free treat at Epcot. At the minute, for the Garden Festival, there is what they call the Garden Grace. So if you're using the food and wine booths at the Garden Festival, certain ones you can get a little stamp. But once you collect 5 stamps, you get another free snack, which is usually a Dole Whip, I think it is. So have a look for the Garden Grace if you're going to be getting a few treats over at Epcot. Don't forget to get your book stamped. And the Garden Grace, it runs while the Garden Festival's on up to the 1st of June, if I'm not mistaken. That's it for this episode of the podcast. I will be back in a few weeks. It might not be 2 weeks, it might be 3, it might even be 4. Taking a bit of a break over the next few weeks, but I'll try and get a podcast out in 2 weeks today. So best thing to do is follow us on the socials at PodMagical and subscribe to the podcast, whether it's either Apple or Spotify. Just hit that subscription button, and then when there's a new podcast, it'll be there whenever it is. And until then, whenever that may be, please stand clear of the doors.